Alright guys, well let's jump right in. Today's video, I'm going to be showing you the 12 customs that I've made in the last 2 weeks. What really helped to motivate me to finish these customs is that I had a design contest over on Amino, where you guys filled out a reference sheet of ours to help design these characters and what their pelt design should be. So as we go through and see the customs that I finished for this video, I'll be sure to shout out the people that made the awesome designs that I referenced. So, for starters, let's check out the Apprentice Customs. Apprentice Customs are a little bit shorter than the full-grown warrior customs, but they are not minis. We still use LPS bases as the heads, we just make the legs a little bit shorter so they don't look fully grown. And we're going to be looking at Brightpaw first. You heard that right, Brightpaw, not Brightheart, so that means it's before her injuries. So we're going to see what she looks like with 2 eyes instead of just 1. The reference that ended up winning for Brightpaw was by Liv the Cat 88. This is the reference that they made that won, and it does have the injuries, but of course, at this point in the story, Brightpaw has not yet been injured, so we just used our imagination for what the other side of her face should look like, and this is what we came up with. I really tried to use a unique style here with doing the little splatters, and just like I got my paintbrush a little bit wet and diluted the paint to give it a different coloration. And there were 2 different colors of orange that I layered on each other. And we gave Brightpaw these cute turquoise eyes. I just think that's kind of fun. This is only the 2nd version ever of Brightpaw because the only version we've had previously was her as a tiny kit when she got kidnapped by Shadow Clan. And that's what she looked like, but she was so tiny, just a tiny little Playmobil kitten. So yeah, that's what Brightpaw's gonna look like for Forest of Secrets. And if we want to see a height comparison, this is what she looks like next to her mentor, Whitestorm. She actually is quite tall, but we didn't want to make her too short because this base does have quite a large head, so that would kind of look weird. And this is what she looks like next to her good friend, Swiftpaw. Well, now that we've seen the 2 of them together, let's take a closer look at what Swiftpaw's custom looks like. The reference for Swiftpaw that ended up winning was Melon Plushes. I really liked both ears being black and kind of just barely going over the eyes. We had a foster kitten several months ago, his name was Klaus, and so we wanted Swiftpaw to kind of look like him too. Anyways, so as we look at the front paw and tail of Swiftpaw, you can see that I did some more intricate details, and you can see that I added a symbol to his ankle. I'm not going to give any more hints away right now of what that might possibly mean, but you guys will just have to stay tuned for the episodes. I'm so excited for more content on Swiftpaw. He's going to be a lot more present in the episodes than you would think. So from this point till now, he's only had 1 previous version. He was absolutely so tiny, a little short apprentice, and this is what he looked like at his apprentice ceremony. But yeah, this is what he turned out like, and I really like his design and how we changed it a little bit from Melon Plushes to have a little bit of a mix between simple and a little bit more complex to just add that diversity into his design. And here's the height comparison between Swiftpaw and his mentor, Longtail, and comparisons between his mother, Goldenflower, who has not yet been painted, and the cat that people claim to be his father, Patchbelt. Goldenflower's custom is going to be so pretty once it's painted. That will be in a future video, so you guys can look forward to that. And over here is Patchbelt. I honestly don't see the resemblance, and we kind of made that more clear with our design, changing Patchbelt's look a little bit so Swiftpaw and him don't look that much alike. But it's close enough that it might fool some of the cats in the clan. So, now that we've taken a closer look at Swiftpaw's custom, it's time to see another apprentice of ThunderClan. Here is Thorn Paw. We decided to go with a really different design for Thorn Paw, made by Romeo the Liger. I really liked how spiky this design was and how it had all these different thorn-like aspects of it. So here is how it came out. I think I did a pretty good job of replicating the design. I didn't deviate too far from the reference sheet. He's only had 1 past version when he was a tiny kit, and he looked completely different. He was very dark brown back then, and now he is bright orange. So quite a turnaround for his design. But I really love the mix of colors with the white and the cream and the orange. Beautiful blue eyes. He is such a cute kitty. I just wanted us to get some height comparisons between all the siblings. Interestingly, Thornpaw has 2 siblings that are almost warriors. So here we have Brackenpaw compared to Thornpaw. We have not yet painted Brackenpaw, but I'm excited to do his design. And here we have Cinderpaw next to Brightpaw. So interesting that these cats are both sisters and they both end up injured. I kind of wish that there was more connections between those sisters. I think that'd be cool. But anyways, let's take a closer look at Cinderpelt Custom. Here is the reference sheet that ended up winning. I was a little skeptical at first of like how it would turn out because this one seems very simple from just the look of it, but that actually ended up turning out so well because a simpler design for Cinderpaw is exactly what we needed. So this was made by Melon Plush, and let's see how it turned out looking on the custom. I really love the more muted pastel look for her scars. I probably would have gone with like this shiny pink reflective paint, but I think it's a better choice for her design overall for it to be a little bit more muted. The focus is no longer on that injury really. She's working on moving on with her life and adapting to it and fitting into her new role as a medicine cat. So she's currently on the 4th version of herself. First version was tiny little kit version of Cinder Kit, so cute. And then her second version was her as an adorable apprentice. First introduction of the cute fluffy hair. She was a lop rabbit base. So cute, very spidery eyelashes. And of course we all know she got run over on the thunder path. Her leg got smooshed. Anyways, I wanted to remake the custom after that. And so I did. I made a sitting version because I was like, she's gonna be really injured. So we decided to transition her over to a sitting custom to give her time to process her injury and take it easy sitting down for a while. Quite a bit of time has passed since Cinderpaw's injury. She's been doing her exercises, she's been working with Yellowfang to get better. Of course, she'll never be a warrior now, but I thought it was about time that her custom be standing again, with her new way of walking with a limp. If Cinderpaw decides to go the route of being a medicine cat in Forest of Secrets, then we're going to be seeing a lot more of the two of these guys together. Up next, we're going to be looking at some elders. This reference for Small Ear was designed by Yuna. We've never made Small Ear before, so this was quite a bit of fun. He is such a grumpy old man. He's always yelling about something, being rude to people, especially Tawny Paw. So we knew we had to give him some angry old man eyebrows. And so that's exactly what we did. Up next, we have Patchbelt. We saw a little bit of him before. This design was by Nugget Warriors. We decided to switch the colors around a bit. We used a light sage color and an emerald green black for his colors just to give him a little bit more of an aged look. And I added a little bit of white fur going up his muzzle to show his age, as well as some white hairs on his chest and eyebrows. The most important thing we wanted for his custom, kind of dark, but we wanted to have him be able to look good when he's on his side because one of his main scenes is later in Rising Storm when there's the fire in ThunderClan's camp and Fireheart drags him out, but sadly he dies in the fire and they have to drag his body for quite a while, I don't know. But yeah, we wanted to have him have some cute paws because later in his scenes and his time on screen, he's going to be on his side later. So that's what we wanted for Patchbelt. Time for deputies! Right now we're looking at Redtail. This reference was designed by Maya Archer. I really liked the simplicity of this to have him be black primarily with some red and browns. So we brought that vision to life in the custom. I did go a little bit more intricate with the stripes. He has only had his one previous version all the way back in the days of Into the Wild, spanning back to the very prologue. First scene we see is Redtail and Oakheart and Tigerclaw. And he had a lot different look back then. He honestly looked more like a coyote, I think. I'm very excited to use this custom for some flashbacks and storytelling that's going to happen in the early episodes of Forest of Secrets. We did some really fun stuff where we took some of the dialogue from Redtail's debt, the stuff that made sense anyways, and we integrated that with Ravenpaw's storytelling when Fireheart and Graystrip go back to visit him at the barn to get a clearer look at what happened back in the past with the infamous battle at Sunning Rocks. Smooth segue into the next deputy custom we're looking at. We have Tigerclaw's clone. Oh, he's so menacing. So as you guys might have seen in the last video, I was working on Tigerclaw's sitting version of his custom. He's gonna have a lot more lines in Forest of Secrets, so I wanted him to have a second pose that he could be in. Just for funsies. That's something we're just kind of playing around with in Forest of Secrets. Fireheart's gonna have like 4 poses, which is gonna be a pain in the butt to make, but you guys will see that soon in a future video. Not an exact clone, the eyebrows did turn out slightly different. As you can see, the sitting one has thicker eyebrows, but it kind of gives him a different expression, I think. And I think this new custom looks especially cool from the side view, as you can see here with him pointing at other Tigerclaw. Who is the clone? Who is the real Tigerclaw? You decide. So let me know what you guys think of this new custom and if you're excited to see it in Forest of Secrets. Up next, we're switching to a different clan. We're getting some more River Clan cats. Starting off with Oakheart. This design was made by Kitty Cat Loaf. I really liked this one because it had more of a red color palette. which I really wanted to play around with. And so here is Oakheart. He turned out so cute. I had the most fun with this custom, I think. I used a lot of different colors to blend from his paws up to his main color, and he has a cute little heart on his chest. I love it so much. So if we look back to his past version, of which he's only had one, he had a much different color palette before. He was a brown tabby, kind of. More brown than tabby. But since his daughter, Mistyfoot's such a magical girl, I thought that he needed to look a lot more colorful and vibrant too. So that's why I chose the reddish reference sheet, because I wanted to have fun with that kind of design. To draw the similarities between himself and his son Stonefur, we decided to give them the same unique eye style, with this kind of light turquoise and orange eyes. Very unique, makes them look the same, and you might notice they also have the same LPS base as their heads. Stonefur does look a lot more angry than his father though. Between the two of them, which custom do you think is your favorite? Let me know down below. But first, let's appreciate a beautiful pan of this blending of colors from his tail tip to his toes, up to his nose. I had so much fun with Oakheart's custom. I can't wait to smash him with some rocks. I hope he doesn't break. This design was made by WingThing78. This is for Greypool. We made a younger version and an elderly version. So there's gonna be a scene in Forest of Secrets where Fireheart is talking to elderly Greypool, and she tells a story and we ripple back through the sands of time to her younger days. We get a scene with Oakheart and Greypool. So let's take a closer look at these customs here. They have really cute speckly designs. It was interesting to replicate it on the two different customs, a younger look at her and an elderly, more saggy version. Greypool has had a hard life, and I'm excited for you guys to hear us bring more life to her character in our version of Forest of Secrets. I had a lot of fun tying her backstory into the lines a little bit more, and I think you guys are gonna love the episode that she's gonna be in. Last, but certainly never least, we have Loudbelly. This design is made by Kitty Cat Loaf, and here he is in all his glory. He is absolutely gorgeous. He has a very cool design of different speckles and spots of brown. This is him compared to his previous custom. It just gives you a little bit of an idea of how much the customs have grown, even since just the beginning of Fire and Ice. They were tiny. I mean, they were LPS sized. Weird, because that's what this originally started as, LPS Customs. But now, the LPS customs are about 3 times the size of an LPS. Look at that tiny little body compared to this guy right here. That is so crazy. Anyway, so now he has 2 eyes that are open, and he has a much more fleshed out design instead of just brown. So yeah, that's what Loudbelly looks like now, and I am so excited for it. Those were the 12 character designs that I finished in the last 2 weeks. I'm so excited to continue working on customs and bring more awesome designs for you guys to see. Wish me luck on painting the next batch. It's gonna be a lot more main characters next time, I promise. Well guys, until then, comment down below who your favorite custom from this video was. See ya in the next video. Bye bye!